Hey, welcome to the Master Tech Lou channel. I am Lou, and today I'm reviewing the Autophix 3610. If you're a Volkswagen or Audi driver, you're going to love this little tool. It's under 100 bucks, and it allows you to see everything you need to see to help figure out what's going on with your car or get an idea of what's going on with your car before you take it to a repair shop. Let me explain some of the features. It's a neat little dongle. Very easy to set up. All you do is download an application to your iPad or your tablet of choice. I have it on my iPad. This plugs into the OBD2 port, and then you're ready to go. Simple as that. No subscription. You don't have to pay to use it. You don't need to have the internet to use it. Once you download the app, it's yours to use. Why would you want to use something like this? Your car, your Volkswagen, your Audi has a lot of control modules inside of the car that function. The control module is basically a small computer. Imagine 40 iPhones inside your car doing all the things that they need to do for the windows to work, for the steering wheel to work, for the volume on the radio to work, for the wipers to work, for the lights to work. Everything is control module controlled. So when you have an issue, you need something like this to see what the car is seeing to know what the failure is. I got a few things wrong here with this Volkswagen GTI that we got in the shop, and I'm going to show you how I would use something like this in order to diagnose it. So we'll run through some of the functions, okay? Let's walk through all the options, right? So feedback is the feedback to the Autophix company. When you have an issue, you're going to put your issue in here, send it to them with the car and maybe the software, and they're going to help figure out what the issue is or use that for better updates for the future. Help is a neat little section. Depending on the Autophix part number or Autophix tool number you have, when you go in there, it shows you videos and how-tos for all of the issues that you may have with using the machine. And by machine, I just mean the VCI dongle with the application. All right, so it doesn't leave you stuck. It walks you through how to do some of the stuff. All right, settings are settings of this unit, right? How to connect it. Manual, automatic, whether you want it to automatically connect when you plug into a car or wait till you say, yeah, let's connect. The units of it, language, screen settings, whether you want it vertical or horizontal, whether it be a portrait or landscape. A little bit of information about the tool, license agreement, privacy policy. Nobody reads those things. All right, then let's go to what we call the meat and potatoes of the thing, right? So a battery check is going to allow you to see the voltage of the battery, and it's going to allow you to do a test of it when you start the car while the car's running. So it'll give you like the battery health and the alternator health of that, right? So that's good. Member Center, you can set up a account with them, and all the account is it logs all of your serial numbers to all of your dongles or whatever Autophix products you have, and you can save your vehicles in there in a profile. It seems like every app, no matter what you have, you can set up your own profile, right? Whether it be like a Home Depot or a Dunkin' Donuts or any kind of app, they're all doing this kind of thing where you can store personal information that you want in there for you for, I don't know, maybe it's aesthetics, right? You want to go in or you want to see your garage online. All right, so the report, what the report is after you ran the report, it saves it and stores it into the application. So I can go back and see the previous diagnostics that I had done. And you can save these to your iPad or a computer or email them, maybe even be able to text them, right? There's all kinds of different ways or things you can do with it. Let's go to the diagnostic. All right, so I'm at the car. I'm going to go ahead and pick. Well, first let me show you that there's a generic OBD2, so you can plug this into any car and you can read the OBD2, which means the check engine or the engine module. You can read it on any car, so that's kind of neat. Throttle learning, if your vehicle has that option, not all of them do. Most Volkswagen Audis do. You get to learn the throttle position, full open, full closed. Gives you a little bit of information before you do the job. All right. So let's go back to Kickshout 2. So service resets, it'll help you reset it through the dash or explain to you how to reset it through the dash. When you have electronic parking brakes in the rear, you can use this to retract them, because everybody's putting motors on the parking brakes, or I'm sorry, on the rear calipers. So you hear the electronic motor whiz in and whiz out. Well, if you're going to do rear brakes, you have to retract the parking brake motor in order to compress the caliper so you can do a brake job. All right, so let's go ahead and pick Volkswagen Audi. All right, I'm going to do... Let's show you all systems. When you're in all systems, you get to pick the module you want to see. So it's going to show you every single control module available to Volkswagen and Audi for all of these categories: powertrain, suspension, body electronics, and then just straight electrical control modules. All right. Common systems, it gives you the top ones that are in all the cars. Okay. So what you like to do, or would like to do, is just go to Vehicle Inspections. And you can do a quick inspection or a deep inspection. The deep inspection inspects for more control modules than the quick inspection. I'm not sure why they segregate it that way, but we'll go ahead and do deep inspection. All right, so the deep inspection is done. It took about 4 minutes, and we've got fault codes in 9 systems and a total of 30 fault codes in those systems altogether. Now what you can do is press the arrow for the engine, and it's going to bring us into the engine module. All right, now while you're in any module, it's only going to give you those options: the information of the module, the fault codes, whether you want to erase them or not, or the actual live data. All right, so between fault codes and live data, that's going to help you fix your issue. All right, so if I go to DTC, and we got a fault code with intake manifold runner bank 1 control circuit open, that tells me that the electrical connection to bank 1 runner control is unplugged, or there's damaged wiring, or the solenoid or valve, whichever controls that, has failed. Without seeing that code, I would never know what was wrong with the car by just looking at the check engine light. So this gives you an in-depth look as to what's happening with the car, right? Then you can go to your data stream, pick your data stream, whether it be individual channels. If you know the channels, Volkswagen Audi's kind of weird with using the channel, right? Or you can just do all channels and read, like, so here's an issue here, is my mass airflow is reading 1 gram a second, but the engine's not running. So there's a problem there. It's reading air when it should not be, all right? So that's good to know, that you can look into the modules and see what the module is seeing. You have to know that in order to fix the problem. You need something like this that's an all system scanner, so it can read all of the control modules in the car, and it can read the data in those control modules. Without having that vital information of the data, all you can do is look at a fault code and go, yeah, there's a fault. Now what do I do with it? So it's good to have an all system scanner like this that can read and be more in depth to help you get to the actual failure. That's what you're looking for. All right, so one problem I want to show you with this car and how you would use something like this to diagnose it is there's a problem with the driver's door window not going down. All right, so let me angle the camera. Let me show you what's happening down here. I can pull the switch and you can hear it. It goes, "Urgh." So it's making a noise going up, but it won't go down. All right, so I'm going to go to door electronics driver side. There's no fault codes, which is fine. Doesn't always have to have a fault code. I'm going to go to the data stream. And now in the data stream, I'm going to pull the switch up. And it shows you that the switch is being operated up. But when I push the switch down, nothing. Not operated. Not operated. We got a faulty switch. I know this right off the bat because it recognizes it going up. It uses the same wiring to go up or down. It's just data to the control module. Same thing with the passenger side. Let me see if I can find the passenger side one. Oh, that might be in the other door. It might be in the other door. interior locking button, unlock, lock. All right. So it's very important to be able to have something to read what the module is seeing. That helps you diagnose the car. So with just having that little VCI plugged in and using this scanner to go into the driver's door module to try to diagnose why the window is not working, that would have saved you an hour or two diagnosis at a shop. So for having a dongle and this application for under $100, it just paid for itself right there. Now, one of the other common problems you have with cars is ESP or ABS or traction, whichever system you want to call it. A lot of times the wheel speed sensors fail, or the wiring to the sensors, or the actual control module fails. But the only light you have on the dash is ABS inoperative, or ESP, or a little squiggly line, or a triangle with an exclamation. So what you would do is use a scanner like this. You would go into the brake control module, or whatever the module they call it. Go to fault codes. Okay, we have two fault codes here. One says vehicle voltage terminal 30. Terminal 30 is battery power, meaning the battery was disconnected or dead or weak. And the second fault code is engine control module ECM. Now what that could mean is there's a fault in the ECM, so it's putting a fault in the traction. And the only thing that would do that would be throttle body, if there's an issue with the throttle body. So if I go to the data stream, and it shows you speed sensor, front left, front right, rear left, rear right. I would use that while driving the car to compare the sensors. So if one of them is not reading at all, I would go to that sensor and diagnose it from the sensor to the wire to the module. If all four of them were reading, but one was off, I would compare tire sizes, rim sizes. I would look for a damaged pulse ring or damaged wiring where it's not getting the correct voltage to go there and back. So the reading is not going to be as true as the other ones. So again, instead of paying for diagnosis, you can see all the live values in the scanner here. It saves you that money in diagnosis by having one of these on hand. And it's easy to store in the glove box. All right, so as a 20+ year Mercedes-Benz technician, plus I've worked on all kinds of other cars, I love things like these, all right? They are not a one and done, meaning that's not the only thing you will ever need if you're involved in working on cars a lot. But if it's for your own car, or you want to buy a car, like you're a used car lot and you just want information on cars right before you buy them or sell them, make sure there's no codes in there. Things like these are invaluable because they're a part of your toolkit, right? Just like a wrench or a ratchet, you got to have scanners to access inside the cars. So I love these things. I love this little thing because it does read all systems. Those are my favorite scanners, are ones that can read all systems. So my least favorite, check engine light readers. They have a limited use, right? So if you're going to spend money, use that money for something better off. The next one up would be engine, traction, transmission, and airbag. It reads four systems. Those are pretty decent as long as you can get live data out of them. If you can only read codes, I'm not a fan of just reading codes. I want to see some live data. I don't want to just get there and still need somebody else's help to fix it. I want to get there and have the information at hand where I can fix it myself, right? Or have enough information on it so I know what needs fixed. The next up is the multi-system like these, where it reads multi-systems or all systems. Those are very important. So to me, this is like the least amount of scanner you would want at your arsenal, all right? So I own a lot of scanners. I get these for reviews. I get them free of charge from companies. I'm not making money off this video, right? I'm not trying to sell this to you. Come here for a review. I just want you to see what it's capable of so you know if it's something that you want. I have a lot of scanners for all the reviews that I do. I just tried to diagnose a car the other day with 7 different scanners. Each one of them read differently in the traction module. One of them can just read the codes, but it didn't show what the code said. It just said no fault code description found. The other one would read the codes, but it couldn't clear the codes. Another one would clear the codes, but it would only read 2 of the 3 codes. Even the highest brands that I got, like the Snap-on and the Auto, they were not consistent with even the Mercedes scanner that I was using. I was trying to compare them all to each other to see what does what. And it's crazy that all the different software variants that are out there for all the different scanners, they still don't do exactly what the manufacturer one does, at least not all the way through. So if you got 50 control modules you can read, something's not going to work as it should with an aftermarket scanner, right? That's where the feedback button comes in handy, so you can send them the feedback saying, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I need you to help me with. So I'm rambling, but as far as a review, I like this thing. I would recommend it to anybody that owns a Volkswagen or Audi or Skoda or Seat. It's just something that you're going to want to have, right? So you can see what's going on with the car when a warning light pops up. If you got kids that drive cars and maybe, you know, they're away at college, or an elderly person, a grandma, a grandpa, you know, somebody, a mom and dad, send them one. Tell them, hey, if there's an issue, plug it in, see what's going on. They probably got a smartphone, right? It goes an app on your smartphone or your tablet. Send you the information. You can call them, hey, you know what? It's safe to drive. You're good to go. You know, wait till it gets to a shop. No big deal. These things are kind of invaluable, right? So I hope this review helps you make an educated decision. I am a very indecisive buyer. The reason I try to do these reviews is because if you're looking to see if this is something you need, I want to show you what it's capable of and how you would use it and why it would benefit you to help you make the purchase decision. That's what I'm looking for in a review, right? So I hope I answered all those questions for you today. If I didn't, hit me up in the comments. Okay, there's going to be a link for the description. There's going to be a link to the item in the description below. All right, they're going to give me a coupon code that's going to be good for a little bit of a little amount of time. All right, so I hope you catch a discount on it while it's active. But hey, my name's Lou. Check out my other review videos. I review all sorts of different things. Plus, I do how-tos on cars. You may not own the car that I'm working on, but the information that I'm trying to relay would help you in your day-to-day. So again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You guys take care. Thanks.